One of the oldest members of the Astralis core standing with me right here. We've got Dupreeh heading into the last second weekend. And this is going to be your first LAN tournament of the year after a long time of not playing. How are you guys feeling? Are you excited to get back into the groove?
Definitely. It's been really great to go home, be home and have some time off with my family and everyone that you haven't been able to spend that much time with. And then starting up practice and just feeling really confident. It's been great. So I'm just looking forward to start playing here.
Well, Dupreeh, I'm sure that while you guys were on break, you were itching for competition, you were watching whatever you could. And one thing that there was to watch was a new Danish team that's taking the world by storm right now. Mad Lions underneath Hunden, who's finally got himself an organization under which, his players can get the salary, not get poached away and everything. What do you feel about them? How do you think they're going to do?
I think if you look at them as a whole, I think they remind myself a little bit of our team. I think they are, well, in that way that they are playing really great together as a team. It seems like they have a really strong, the way they put themselves in having players determine each role is really great. It's just set in stone. It seems like everyone is confident about their role and everyone wants to do what they're doing. And then at the same time, they have some strong individual players and they have Hunden doing obviously some great in-game leading as well. So I think they are a great team. And it's been great to see that they have been claiming the spot as the second best team in Denmark, but at the same time also showing that they can perform in the international stages and actually perform against the better teams. Now they just played against Mousesports, almost beating them, and overall qualifying for Katowice, and they've just been producing some really great results.
Of course, it seems like every year Denmark just throws some new talent at us. One way or another, generally trained by Hunden, but this time he is at the hull of the ship, so to speak. But there is still an issue with Hunden being there. And this is something that a lot of people have been raising up, which is saying that it looks like a great team, but it looks like it's going to have a bottleneck at some point. Do you think that Mad Lions can, break the top 10, break, the elite tier without running into that, slight bottleneck of your in-game lead and not being able to frag with the best of them?
I mean, it could become an issue because eventually if you keep underperforming, even as an in-game leader, it could result. I think at this point, he doesn't really mind that much as long as he just plays good and the team performs and he can set up his players to be really good. I think that's what matters the most for him. But at the same time, when you go up against these really elite teams and you start not performing, eventually you will start losing, and I think that is probably the main reason why they would not break into the top 10. But I have hopes for them. I think they can do it, and in Counter-Strike, it really matters that you're consistent, and I think that's probably is going to be their main key.
Well, they're definitely a team that's going to be, having the foundations of consistency in terms of structure and everything like you mentioned. But beyond Mad Lions, onto Astralis now. You guys are also coming up to Katowice, and with that, you're potentially coming up to your second era. How does it feel going there? How does it feel doing what honestly no team has done before in the same way? I know some people say MIBR has had these stretches, but this huge resurgence to the top is completely brand new. How do you guys do it?
I think it all comes down to people being motivated and people wanting to perform, and also the fact that the preparation we do in terms of our team is, how do you say, the way we practice, the way we want to practice is that we put a lot of effort at becoming better all the time and focusing on the mistakes instead of just playing. Like, we have a really good discussion of what we want to achieve and what we want to, how we're going to get there. I think that's the main key. And then obviously once we get there, we have a plan talking about how we're going to stay here, because that's the main issue, right? No, but overall I think obviously it comes down to some raw talent, but at the same time it comes down to a lot of progression and planning. And I think we're just doing really good, and everyone is really motivated, and that's probably the key to it, and that we're just really good friends outside the game, because that's also a really great factor that we can share and have a lot of things together as a team, more than just being colleagues in the game. So I think that's really, really strong for us, but I'm just looking very much forward to go to Katowice and hopefully also here perform and just show everyone that we are still the greatest team of all time.
Well, here, you guys have got yourself ample chance to show that you're the greatest team of all time, because you're going up against two players who challenged Device's potential throne, something that's been evading him for a while. You're going up against S1mple and ZywOo, and they're both back on AWPing as well. How does it feel to you, as an entry fragger, going in on the T side up against those two monsters?
It can be a struggle. I mean, going up against a really strong all player, and when you're doing the entry frag, can be really frustrating, but it really requires your teammates to throw some really good flashbangs for you, and also you need to be able to hit your shots sometimes a little bit more than you usually do. So no, I mean, it can be a struggle. It can, but I also have my teammate Device who's going to go out there and try and pick them off for me. So if he gets a pick off on them, and then it's just going to feel great. And it's not really something that I put any effort into. I don't really think, oh no, I'm going to go up against ZywOo or S1mple. I don't really mind. I played against FalleN in his prime. It was worse.
You think FalleN in his prime was better than them?
In terms of like AWPing and playing like these close angles and being a monster in terms of just sitting in all the close angles and picking off the entry fraggers, it's horrible. I've tried worse. Trust me.
Wow, those are strong words right there. I never thought I'd heard those. S1mple and ZywOo. You know, you guys haven't quite caught up to the master himself, the master of Brazil. And the master of Brazil, unfortunately, though, was eliminated last week. MIBR not looking fantastic despite the addition of a new talent, despite the addition of men, despite, you know, having some good maps against Liquid. But later on, we found out that Liquid themselves are weak as well. Do you think that they're on the route to coming back, or do you think there might be some more changes needed for them?
It's a good question. I think MIBR is looking better, even though they maybe didn't show them. I mean, like they had some good results in terms. Maybe they didn't win, but they played overall pretty well. I think they have the right constellation of players right now. Maybe they need to change one player more or find a new way to play. I don't know, but it seems like they have finally figured out how they're supposed to play, and against them in practice, they've actually been playing pretty well. In terms of Liquid, I'm not sure. I think Liquid is still a top 3 team in the world, and they will continue to be because they're just so good individual. And for Liquid, I think their biggest struggle is probably themselves. They've said that before as well, that they have some mental issues sometimes, and especially when they went up against us. But I mean, like you saw last year, they started dominating everything and playing really well, and we had struggles with them as well. So everything can change in a matter of time, and I think what they just need is a little bit of a confidence boost. I hope they won't get it, because then we're gonna have a struggle beating them again. But yeah, I don't know. I think both teams are really great. Obviously, Liquid being the better one right here, but yeah.
Well, the other thing that I had to ask you, which is that you alluded to the top 3 right now, but the one question that we've got going into 2020 from Astralis is, and Glaive said that, Glaive already answered this, is that who is going to be your main contender for number 1? Glaive said Mouse Sports. A lot of people are saying that Na'Vi could be back on the rise. A lot of people saw FaceClan last week, and with Brokey showing that, you know, he's somehow the godly AWPer that we never knew he would be. Who do you think is the big rival for Astralis? Do you think it's still Mouse Sports, or do you think it might be someone else like EG or someone?
I think it's going to change throughout the year, but as of right now, I think it's going to be Mouse Sports. And in a couple of months, it could be Na'Vi. In a couple of months, it could be FaceClan. And in a couple of months, it could be EG. It could be anyone. I mean, I think Mouse Sports is playing really great right now, and they're also proving that now. They're about to win against Na'Vi, from what I remember. And yeah, they've been like in 5 grand finals in a row, and they've won a couple of them. So they're playing really great right now, and I hope to face them again soon, because losing to them in Odense was a big oops from our side. I mean, we should definitely have won that game, even though they definitely deserved it and played great. It's hard to say, but Mouse Sports right now, and then it could be anyone in the future.
Well, Astralis had an oops over in Odense, but hopefully they're not going to be having an oopsie right here. Now, tomorrow you can see them going up against Complexity, a match that they expected to win, but you never really know when it comes to the Cowboys themselves. But this has been Dupreeh with GG Intel. You can find out the rest of our coverage at ggintel.com/blast. Dupreeh, thank you so much for joining us, and good luck with the matches.